Now remember, the word was given that the king would die in his own land by a sword. Well, after he sees that he is defeated and how God has destroyed all his army in front of his own eyes, he returns to his own land, and 2 of his sons rise up and assassinate him, fulfilling the prophetic word that was given by the prophet Isaiah. What God has promised will always come true. How many know that? So as the people of Judah, as they arose the next morning, as they began to look out and they saw thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dead corpse of their enemy that was coming and knocking at the door to destroy them, faith began to arise within them. As they began to see the works of the Lord before their very hands, and they began to see that God was not mocked. Though the king of Assyria may have taunted the Lord for a time, God will always have the last word. How many know that every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord? Amen? And as faith began to stir that day, people began to describe the events of what God did, and they began to see the works of the Lord, how the Lord of hosts was with them, that the God of Jacob was for them and not against them. And they began to pen what we know today as Psalm 46. This story was written based on, or Psalm 46 was written based on the story that I told you. Now, as I deliver this psalm one more time, I want you guys to think about all the events that led up to this moment. How God intervened on their behalf. How they placed their trust in God, even in the most dire circumstances. How they turned to God for deliverance, even when the odds were against them. And as they began to go, and as they began to see the works of the Lord's hand, they began to say this: God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea. Though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns, as he did that morning. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, and the earth, it melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Verse 8 is my favorite section in this psalm, and it says this: Come behold the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolations on the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and he shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I'll be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in all the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Amen?